on the face of it I think it's probably alright. So we've had a bit of a chat and I've left an offer with the guy who owns the garage. He's going to contact the owner and then we'll see where we go from there. Well, hello folks, welcome back to Old Classic Car. Now, if I was quite excited in the previous Jaguar video about going to look at this Jaguar, then today I am positively effervescent with excitement because my offer has been accepted on this old Jaguar, so that is really good news. So all we need to do is wait for the MOT to be sorted. It is MOT'd, but I asked if a fresh MOT could be put on it. Tax will be sorted, insurance is sorted, I've already done that, so we are ready to rock and roll, and hopefully on Friday we'll be going to pick this car up. Of course, the only downside to this means that the old Jeep will have to go, because one out, one in, and the Jeep going will fund the purchase of said Jaguar that featured in the previous video to this one. So yeah, it's a bit of a double-edged sword, but as the Jeep's not being used and hopefully the Jag will see plenty of use, then yeah, that's all good. And talking of use, I've just been having a look through the MOT history for this particular car, and I knew it had belonged to an elderly gent, and by the looks of it he didn't do a great mileage at all. Over the last 10 years or so we've been looking at around about 9,000 miles, something like that, which is nothing for a car like that. It's probably enough just to keep everything working and stop brakes freeing up and that kind of thing, but it is not a huge mileage, and hopefully for that reason I'm hoping that it's avoided the worst of the salty roads, that kind of thing, for at least the last sort of 10 years or so. So fingers crossed there shouldn't be too many problems underneath. We did have a quick look underneath when we went to look at the car, which I've covered in the previous video. So yeah, hopefully this is a reasonably low mileage, reasonably well cared for, it would seem. Jaguar, sort of like a midlife car. It's sort of at that kind of dip where it's too old to be of interest to anyone looking for a newish car, but not really quite old enough for someone who wants a classic car. It's in that kind of sort of limbo, midlife crisis era, if you like, and that's what keeps the prices of these cars really, really low. I don't expect them to go up anytime soon, but yeah, it certainly appears to be a lot of car for the money. And yeah, I'm really, really looking forward to going to pick this one up on Friday. Dad's coming along, he's going to run me over there in his car, and then we'll bring the pair of them back, and once it's back here then it'll give me a chance to have a really good look over it and just see what little jobs we want to get done to it. But yeah, so far so good. Like I said in the previous video, I've had this bit of an idea in the back of my head that maybe buying another one of these X308 V8 Jaguars might be a good idea. And in an ideal world I would have perhaps not gone, well, maybe gone for another XJR, or possibly more likely the 4 litre unsupercharged car, just got a little bit more grunt. This one is the 3.2 Sport, so it's kind of the baby of the range, I suppose. If we were talking Mark II Jaguars, then this would be the equivalent of a 2.4. It's kind of the one that probably not that many people want, but like I said in the previous video, again, I'm not really interested in startling performance. I just want a wafter that picks up well enough and, you know, it's not going to hold anyone up. And that really is the thinking behind all this. And I also think that when you get into cars that are sort of 20-ish, 22 years old, that kind of thing, I think it's more important to buy on condition rather than the exact specification, and it's better to compromise on the spec of the car if it means you're buying a car that is a good solid bet to move forward with. There's no point paying over the odds for a rusty XJR because you've always wanted an XJR, only to find yourself constantly having to weld it up and all that kind of thing. And rust can be a bit of a problem with these XJs, which is another reason why we spent a very good look, plenty of time rather, looking underneath it to make sure that the sills and the jacking points, all those kind of things, were in pretty good order. And to be honest, they look pretty good. They haven't been, there's no sign of major welding underneath or anything of that particular ilk. So like I say, it was more the condition of this car that swung it for me. Yes, it's not the 4 litre that maybe ideally I would go for, because to be honest, the 4 litre is probably similar economy to this one, but more power, and also, you know, just got a little bit more grunt. But really, it's all down to condition, and I think, like I say, when you get to cars of this age, it's far more important to buy on condition than the exact holding out for an exact specification or trim level or colour. isn't really that important when you get to cars of this age. By far more important is the condition, the history, the backstory, and the condition as it's in now. So that's kind of been the thinking behind this one. Yes, ideally I would have gone for 4 litre, but 3.2 should, on the face of it, do very nicely. So anyway, we just need to get things sorted out, go and get some dosh, and then on Friday we're going to head over and pick this thing up and see what it is that I've ended up buying. Good morning folks, Dad's here in his X350. It won't be long before we head off and go and retrieve the XJ8. Well folks, welcome to the beautiful scenery that is the M6 northbound. We are heading just a short hop up here, it's not too far. And we will go and awaken this Jag from its slumbers. We are in the 2003 X350, so only a year newer than the car that we're going to pick up now. And I've just been checking the MOT history on this latest acquisition, the XJ8. And it turns out it's done a whopping 77 miles in the last 3 years according to the MOTs. So it'll be a case of sort of gently coaxing it back into semi-regular use, I think, with this one. So we'll come the back way. We won't risk coming down the motorway, I don't think, because if we have any mild dramas or lights popping up on the dash, we don't want to be stopping on here, especially as we are enjoying the benefits of smart motorways with virtually no hard shoulder to pull up on if you have a problem. So I don't think we'll be risking that one. Dad's piloting this one today, so good morning to you.
Good morning, sir.
Yes. So it's not a bad morning. It's not a bad morning at all. So it's not a bad day really for going to collect another old Jag, a middle-aged Jaguar, not quite a classic and no way modern. So it's in that kind of nowhere land. Yeah, it's sort of no man's land between being a proper old car and a modern car. So yeah, it should be an interesting little journey back. We'll take it easy, and fingers crossed, hopefully we won't have too many problems. We will need to get some fuel en route. That's something I need to remember. I'll need to reacquaint myself with the fuel filler flap and how to open it, but hopefully that shouldn't cause too many problems. The M6 is flowing reasonably well at the moment, touch wood, but yeah, that's always the kiss of death. Behold the majesty of Sandbach services. It makes a change to be going north to pick up an old XJ. I'm just thinking the XJR, that came from London somewhere, wasn't it? Yeah, was it Enfield or was it somewhere around there? Yeah, and the Series 1 XJ6, the pale blue one, that came from somewhere down London, somewhere in suburbia. I've got photos of it parked up in a nice leafy street somewhere, but other than that I don't really remember where it was. It's busy here today.
Indeed, yes, indeed, yeah. Oh dear. Oh,
well, here it is, tucked away in the corner. Looks like the local pigeons have been nearby, so it's long overdue. A bit of a scrub up, but it'd be quite good fun. The gent in the garage, he did actually offer to give it a rinse, but I said actually no, I think it'd be quite good fun to give it a wash. So that'll probably feature in a future video. Let's go and find the owner himself and go and sort out the paperwork. Dad's just checking a few tyre pressures. I'll go and give him a hand with a pump. Don't want him doing that. You're using the good leg. Using the good leg. Alright. Right, so I've done the paperwork, got the receipt. All the history's in the back there and the new MOT. So that's good news. So this motorhome will be moving very, very soon. And then we'll be able to go and get some petrol. Well, that's phase one of the trip completed. Back to my folks' place. Yeah, it drove alright. Slight noise maybe from a bush at the front, but other than that, pretty much as it should be. Still pretty grubby. Well, here we are, safely back at OCC HQ. Jag didn't miss a beat. And that is followed by a very svelte Jaguar XJ8, no less. Very nice too. That's the X308 series Jaguar. Next to this lovely Morris 1100 we've got this X308, and this is for sale. An XJ Executive. So this has got a V8 in it. I'm not sure if these are 3.2 or the 4 litre. It's yours for $2,495. And that is a lot of car for the money. There you go, if you fancy availing yourself, there are the details. Yeah, handsome looking motor car.
I reckon I'd look cool.
Yeah, that'd suit you, that Hal. Oh, in 4 or 5 years you can insure one of those. Okay, well there we are, back home, safe and sound, with one retro Jaguar. Not quite a classic car, but sort of somewhere in between. Apparently it was actually dry stored until a couple of years ago when it got parked up at the garage where I found it. It had always been in dry storage, and when I actually had a look through the logbook, it's only really had one proper owner from new. It was registered in March of 2002 to the supplying Jaguar garage in Stockport, Dunham something, which I think was previously Hollingdrake. So that was in March 2002. Then in July 2002 the first owner registered it, and it stayed with him until sadly he passed away maybe 2 or 3 years ago, something like that. So the logbook, it's still actually registered to the first proper owner. So I am technically the second proper registered owner of this particular car. So I think it's obviously had a fairly easy life. I think it was part of, I think it was like a company car almost for this particular gentleman for quite a long time. So hopefully that means that the servicing wasn't scrimped on. There was a pile of paperwork with it which I've not even had a chance to look through, but I will sort that all out into chronological order so I can get a better picture of what has and hasn't been done to it over the years. There are a couple of jobs that I would like to get done to it before too long. As with any car that's 20 plus years old, so there's always something to do. But fortunately there are loads of Jag bits around, and yeah, they're not priced too badly either. So fingers crossed this will make for a nice old wafter. So anyway, thank you very much for watching this particular video. Big thanks to Simon at AutoLink who handled the sale on behalf of the owner. Really appreciate his help, letting us have a proper look round it, try it out down the road, all that kind of thing. Really appreciate his time on that one. So if you like this kind of thing, please pop a note in the comments, let me know what you think of this slightly more modern addition to the fleet. Like I say, this will be replacing the silver Jeep that you can see in the background there, which I don't tend to use all that often now. So that'll go, and with that going, it means the Jag could come along. So let me know what you think in the comments. Would you like to see more regular updates on this car, or is it just a bit too modern still for your tastes? Let me know in the comments. Let me know what you think, and then we'll sort of play it by ear and take it from there. So thanks very much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe if you're new to the channel. Have a look around the channel while you're here, because there are tons of videos, hundreds and hundreds of videos on here now about all cars, and there'll be many, many more videos along very, very soon, including maybe one or two on the old Jaguar. So bye for now.